Yeah, what's up, everybody? Coma Star. Here's that video I was telling you about called Red Flags. You see the sign? All right, let's get into it. And let's put into practice what we learn. Let's effectively use what we learn. That's called wisdom right there. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. When you see a red flag, forget it. Turn the other way. All right. Let's get some wisdom, since wisdom is the most important thing. And in all thy getting, get understanding. And then life won't seem so demanding. Check this little rhyme out right here. Look, don't get mad when you see a red flag. Be glad that you had seen it before it got real bad and you end up real sad. All right? By the way, if you see somebody drinking coffee, then you know what they're talking about. And that's what I'm drinking, is coffee. You should trust me since I'm drinking coffee. All right, let me start this out. Check this out. If we are abiding in the vine, Jesus, Yehoshua, the Holy Spirit will let us know if we should build some type of relationship with that person. Also, we have common sense. We're not stupid. We know better. A lot of times we just go by our feelings. I feel like he's the one. I feel like she's the one because she's so fine. Because I love the way she talks to me. Check it. Instead of the wisdom of Yah and the common sense he gave us, we see the signs, we just ignore them because that person has something we want, or they look a certain way, or in some ways they're different than anybody else we've talked to before. And before I delve deeper into this, when I talk about red flags, I'm not just talking about whenever you try and get involved with the opposite sex on a romantic level, or you like them and you're very interested in them. You want to build some type of romantic relationship with them. I'm not just talking about that. There's red flags in every area of life. There's red flags whenever you go out and look for a job. Red flags when you are about to purchase something. In every area of life, you will see red flags. So remember that. This is not just about trying to get some type of relationship with someone, romantic relationship. Let me give you a definition of what a red flag is, which is a noun. It's used as a warning of danger. I don't have a red flag, but I have a red rag. That'll work. Let's see. Now check this out. If you are a follower of Yehoshua or Jesus, and they're not a follower of his, and you will know them by their fruit. We all are a work in progress, those who follow Yehoshua. Yes, we are. You will know them by their fruit if you stay around them long enough, and by their lifestyle. If you stay around them long enough, you will see the fruits of Yah, the fruits of the Holy Spirit, which is in Galatians. Love, joy, peace, gentleness, meekness, temperance, faithfulness, self-control. It's 9 of them. Check it out in Galatians. I may have gotten it wrong, but that's pretty much the fruits of the Holy Spirit. All right, 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14 talks about how we as followers of Yah are not supposed to be unequally yoked with unbelievers or non-believers. The Webster Second New Riverside Dictionary says, a yoke is defined as something that ties or connects. Slavery or bondage. Do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. That's immediately a red flag. If they tell you they are not a disciple or a follower of Christ. Red flag if you are. A very big red flag. Don't ignore it. Red flag. Red flag, all right? Don't do no missionary dating. I did that years ago when I was real young in the Lord. I tried to hook up with a female and, I was like, since I'm a follower of Christ now, I'm going to hook up with her and I'm going to get her or I'm going to influence her to follow Christ. Yeah, and then that way I can keep her. I can have her. She can be mine. But guess what? It didn't work. It didn't work. She ended up leaving because we were unequally yoked. It was like night and day. And trust me, don't do it. Red flag number 1, if you are a follower of Christ, don't get unequally yoked. Now, I ain't saying you can't hang around with non-believers sometimes with the purpose of showing them the love of Christ and possibly leading them to the Lord or planting a seed or watering a seed so God can give the increase. And I'm not saying you need to be around them preaching to them all the time and doing all the spiritual stuff that they may or may not understand and turning them off. I'm not saying that either. Be wise. Matthew chapter 7, verse 15 through 20 talks about the false prophets. Talking about their fruit, what they do, or their deeds. You can know someone is false by their fruits. What type of character they display. Not just false prophets, but false people, period. So pay attention whenever you're dating that person or you're hanging around with that person or you plan on going into business with that person. Pay attention to their character, how they act, how they treat other people, their lifestyle. Sometimes they will immediately show you they can't be trusted and that they are a wolf in sheep's clothing. Sometimes they will immediately show you and don't ignore, get away. Get away. I like what Michael Pitts said. The writer of Ungodly Soul Ties. He said, if you're going to date someone, you better have more in common than hormones. I could just imagine us using, the type of talk we like to use whenever we want somebody, but we know we don't need them. We both like sex. We both like sex a whole lot. So that means we should date. That means we should be together. God put us together. Boy, that sounds so foolish, don't it? Y'all got one thing in common. And so that means y'all supposed to date and eventually get married one day. I think not. Not for me anyway. Got to have a whole lot more than just hormones in common. Check this out right here. Remember, ignoring the red flags because you want to see the good in people will cost you later on. I know about that. We be knowing this stuff. We already be knowing it, but we just ignore it because we go by our feelings. We're lonely, horny, whatever. And so we just ignore the red flags and go ahead and hook up with that person. and then we wind up getting burned later on. Then a lot of us have the nerve to blame God, blame Yah, say it's his fault. When it was clear as day, you shouldn't have messed with that person, or you shouldn't have cut that business deal with that person. It was clear. But you ignored it because you saw the good in that person, or you thought that you could use that person. Here's a red flag right here. Talking about romantic relationships. Y'all go out to eat and y'all talking, and they say the last person I dated, I tried to kill him. I tried to kill him. Obvious red flag. Red flag. I'm going to say excuse me for a moment. I'm going to the restroom. But actually, I'm just kidding. That's lying. I'm just kidding. We're going to finish that date real fast. And then I'm out of there. I'm going to quietly leave. I'm not going to tell, the reason why I'm leaving. I'm just going to say, I had a great time. And bye-bye. You have a great night. And then I will no longer be around that woman, because you ain't gonna be killing me. I want to stay alive. Here's another thing, another red flag, not just whenever you're talking to someone romantically, but any type of relationship. Whether you are thinking about becoming friends with this female, she seemed cool, and you're thinking about hanging out with her, or you're thinking about working up under this supervisor. And when you're talking to them, they're very critical of others. And when they talk, they do a lot of gossiping. They talk about other people's business. They say stuff like, I heard so-and-so this and so-and-so that. Red flag, red flag. I guarantee you, and I know this for a fact because it happened to me. I guarantee you, if they are critical of others all the time, or most of the time, they are critical of you. They're talking to someone else in a critical way about you. If they gossip about others around you, or you hear them gossiping about others to other people, I guarantee you they're talking about you. They're gossiping about you. And I know we're not supposed to care about what people think. I'm all for that. But I am not interested in being around someone who talks bad about me or talks bad about others. To me, that's fake. You smiling in my face, acting like you cool with me, but you go and talk to other people about me and say evil things about me behind my back. I don't want to be around you. When I see you, I'm going to wave and I'm going to keep it moving. I can't stand that fake baloney stuff. And I've been around it too. I'm thinking in my mind, good and well, you done said some evil stuff about me because I hear you, or I overheard you whenever I was walking past saying evil stuff about other people. So I know you doing me like that, and I don't want to be around you because it's fake. Watch out for that. This is common sense stuff. Let's use common sense. Did you know you can have common sense and not use it? Just because you have something, that don't mean you automatically use it. To me, it's common sense to know that you can have common sense and not use it. And then common sense tells me that I have to use the common sense that I have, or else it won't benefit me. That's common sense to me. It's not magic. Life is not about magic. Obviously, they try and get you to go against the law of Yah. For example, they suggest that you get even with someone who has done you wrong. Red flag. Red flag. You know the Lord wants us to love our enemies and do good to those who spitefully use us and forgive people. And I'm not talking about being a doormat and being a fool. Yes, I do believe in setting boundaries, but this getting even with people because they did something wrong to you, that is not the will of Yah. He said, vengeance is mine. And then he said, you know, in Psalms, it talks about how he's slow to anger and he's abounding in mercy. And then in the book of James, he tells us to be slow to speak, slow to become angry, and quick to hear. So I know for a fact he don't want us to get even with people who have wronged us. And like I said, I will set boundaries, and if I know that I need to, I won't deal with that person anymore. I will stay away from them. But I have to do my best, and Yah will help me as I yield to him to not get even with them. He will give me the grace to do it because I put faith in him. Now, I know this right here depends on your values and your beliefs, but as for me, this is a red flag right here. They try and get me to come over to their house late at night, you know, like 2 in the morning. You know, them hours where some things be going on that, in my opinion, only married folks should be doing. Red flag for Damon. Red flag for Damon. Now, I've slipped up in the past and I ignored that red flag, but I guarantee you, it cost me dearly. If you are a follower of Yah, and even if you're not a follower of Yah, I don't recommend yoking up with somebody in that way, and y'all ain't married, and you don't know that person, and you don't know that that person truly loves you and respects you. I don't recommend it at all. Red flag. I know a few of y'all like, shoot, that don't apply to me. Hey, that's between you and Yah. I'm not here to condemn. That's between you and him. I just wanted to rhyme, but I meant that though. And we're about to wrap this up. I have to come back with a part 2. But let me end it with this right here. When you find yourself acting out of character, you know, doing things you normally wouldn't do and saying things you normally wouldn't say, because of you spending time with this person, or because of you dating this person, or hanging around with this person, red flag. You should never lower your standards or lower yourself to impress someone, or to keep someone, or to try and get someone to be with you. Stay true to yourself. If you're a follower of Christ, stay true to Yehoshua. Stay true to him. You won't regret it. I know it's difficult at times to stay faithful to the Lord. Believe me, it is for me. But if you compromise to get that person, you're going to have to compromise to keep that person. And I guarantee you, in most cases, you will not keep that person compromising. It's not worth it. If you find yourself, check this out. I remember I was dating this one female, and I found myself, you know, just being mean a whole lot more than I normally am. I mean, I can be mean at times, but I just found myself being mean a whole lot more than I normally am. And then I found myself doing things to try and impress her that I normally wouldn't do. And I knew it was wrong, but sometimes when you get in your feelings, and then when you get to thinking about how beautiful that woman is if you're a man, and how handsome that man is if you're a woman, you be like, shoot, I'm throwing these standards out the window, or I'm going to compromise just a little bit, it won't hurt, so I can please this person, so I won't lose this person. Or so this person can keep giving me what I like and what makes me feel good. But I guarantee you it's hard to sleep with yourself at night. It's definitely hard to go before the Father with boldness when you know you're compromising all the time. Or when you know you are involved with someone you shouldn't be involved with. It's so hard to go before Him with boldness and confidence. As a matter of fact, I found myself not even wanting to go to Him. I was running from Him because this person pulled me away from Him. I allowed this person to pull me away from Him. And it ended up costing me dearly. But I'm learning to stay away and not ignore the red flags. You definitely have to have a plan, and you have to have a made up mind. My mind is made up. I'm not going to fall for the traps. I'm not going to ignore the red flags. You know, you see the red flags from afar off, and you avoid them. Avoid them. You may not be happy now, but you will be a whole lot happier later. You'll be so glad you didn't ignore those red flags, and you stayed faithful to Yah. And you stayed faithful to your own conscience. You didn't ignore your conscience. Well, until next time, this is Damon Joseph signing out. This video is red flags. Please don't ignore them. If you ignore this video, that's a red flag. I'm clowning. You don't have to watch this video. I'm good. I don't need 1,000, 1,000,000 views. I don't need 50,000 likes. Peace out. Bye.